I will call the Thursday, June 18th, Ascension Parish Council meeting to order. Tonight our invocation will be led by Eric Guyon, the pastor of St. John Church in Prairieville. Our pledge will be led by former Gonzales Mayor Johnny Berthlight and the present Economic Development Chairman. Father.
As we place ourselves in the presence of God, we remember a few special intentions tonight for Councilman Adrian Thompson, whose wife is in the hospital this evening. We offer our prayers and our loving support for Mr. Smitty Lee, who has undergone some surgery of late, for his speedy recovery, for Miss Lee Alexander, who died this week, for the comfort and support of her family, and that she may be embraced in the fullness of God's merciful arms. And we pause for a moment in silence to lift up to God the prayers that are deep in the silence of our hearts. Lord Jesus Christ, you come among us as one who serves. And so we thank you for the privilege each day to live in your image and likeness through serving. We ask you to bless those who serve on the parish council tonight and all of those who serve in elected and chosen positions. Give us a heart after your own heart. Fill our minds with your wisdom and light. Help us to work together every day to build communities that give glory to you through our cooperation and through our loving service. Help us to continue to build communities that encourage our young people to grow, to give themselves each day to service to their communities, and bring us one day to that fullness of the joy of your kingdom, where you live and reign forever and ever. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Father Eric. Chairman.
Please join with me as we honor America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Roll call, Ms. Suzanne. Councilman Thompson is absent tonight. Item 3, chair additions. Councilman, I'll have 2 items to put on the agenda. One, I'd like to move the July 2nd meeting in Donaldsonville to June 30th in Donaldsonville. Move it from Thursday to Tuesday. Have a motion by Councilman Randy Kluwat, second by Dennis Cullen. Any opposed? Roll call, please, ma'am.
Councilman Kluwat.
Yes.
Councilman Cullen.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Joseph.
Yes.
Councilman Dempsey Lambert.
Yes.
Councilman Todd Lambert.
Yes.
Councilman Law.
Yes.
Councilman Shake Snyder.
Yes.
Councilman Valentine.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Councilman, we will move that to item 3B. The next item we have will be a hazard mitigation grant. Ms. Martha Collins. I'll need a motion, please.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Councilman Dennis Cullen, second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Roll call, please, ma'am.
Councilman Kluwat.
Yes.
Councilman Cullen.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Joseph.
Yes.
Councilman Dempsey Lambert.
Yes.
Councilman Todd Lambert.
Yes.
Councilman Law.
Yes.
Councilman Shake Snyder.
Yes.
Councilman Valentine.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Councilman, we will move this item to 8A. Public comment period. Anyone wish to speak on any item on the agenda tonight, you'll be allotted 3 minutes. Please sign in with Ms. Suzanne. Next, we'll get into our presentation, part of the agenda. Mr. Byron Gocho, please come forward.
It probably won't take 3 minutes. So, look, I appreciate everything. We'll do anything that y'all need. The General Life Festival Association will support the parish and Town of Gonzales. I'm as happy as I can be with everything. I'm going to retire from competition this year. I figured I won it twice with my dad, once with my good friend, and once with my son. So I'm going to let them have it. I'll still cook in for the charities and like the Swamp Pop Festival with the Sissy Pie doses and that sort of thing. And I'll be around the festival still. So thank y'all very much.
Very good, Byron. Byron, we really commend you for just being a good guy all these years and represent the parish, the city. We really appreciate you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank y'all. Yeah, we're going to go to Honduras with the church for a mission. That's going to happen next week. And then we're going to do a little vacation type thing in July. We can go to Alaska and go fishing.
Yeah, you are. Thank you, Byron. Next will be our Jambalaya Champ of Champ, Mr. Jody Ellithar.
Hello, Jody. Jody also served as well on the school board. An excellent job. Thank you. Parish Ascension certificate to 2008 World Champion Jody Ellithar, and the named Champ of Champions 2009 Jambalaya Cup. We help make our community the Jambalaya capital of the world. We join you as the parish council president, Pat Bell, and tri-parish council all the country. Thank you, sir.
I want to thank you tonight. I appreciate everything that the city has done for me. I truly had an awesome experience as the world champion in 2008, and I just hope Byron can have as much fun as I had. And winning the Champ of Champs this year was, again, it was speechless for me, up on the stage. But I met a lot of people, and everyone really, really knows what jambalaya means to the jambalaya capital of the world here in Gonzales. And again, thank the former mayor for all his support throughout the year of 2008, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, Jody, I'd like to tell you, thank you for your efforts. Thank you for representing as well. And there is a rumor that Chairman Berthelot had given you a secret ingredient. I don't know if that's true or not, but
I think it was the Amanda sausage that he used in that.
Councilman George.
Hey, Jody, before you leave, you had a little bit of representation in the whole contest within your family. Can you let us know who that was?
Yeah, I had my son help me in 2008 when we won the world champion, and then my daughter had cooked in a few times in the mini pot, so she helped me this year, and she said one time was good enough, and the heat got her, I believe. So we did have a good time, and my son came out in the finals the first time. He was called the Rookie of the Year this year. So
how good. Very good.
Congratulations to the family.
Thank you.
Next, man, it is a pleasure. We have a Coach of the Year for state baseball, Class 5A, Mr. Chris Shakesnyder.
What school is that? What school?
I have to tell y'all, this is Dutchtown High School, the school.
Watch what you're saying.
Ain't but 3 of us left. You want us to go?
I will tell Mr. Tommy, we got a long way to go to catch Sanama, but I was a part of that first state championship at Sanama, so
There you go. Don't forget your roots there, buddy.
I just want to thank the council, Mr. Pat Bell, and Parish President Tommy for recognizing me tonight. And you know, anytime you get an individual award as a coach, obviously it goes down to your players. Our players had a great year. The kids really just exceeded everything we asked them to do. And not only the kids, when you have a team at any level, it's more than just the players, the parents, administration at our school. We just all got together this year and we had a great season, and I'm proud of the kids, and I just want to thank everybody, and all my parents included, and my players for an outstanding season, and once again thank the council for recognizing us tonight.
Okay, next we have a proclamation to proclaim Alzheimer's Awareness Month. Councilman Shakespeare, would you like to say something leading into this, please?
Yes, thank you. This is something that is in its second year over here for us, a big program, and we have some representatives tonight that have really played an integral part of this. And if you know anything about Alzheimer's, I think from the state office, they keep talking about the extended bourgeois family has been spearheading and for what's going on in this state in Alzheimer's awareness and research and everything. And so we just want to make sure that this is brought to light and acknowledge the people that have been really going above and beyond to work hard to help out, and they'll let you know about some of the activities that are going on, and for a lot of people in this parish, it really hits home, so we want more and more people to get involved.
There you go.
Oh. I've been Randy.
Tough disease. I know my mother was diagnosed for about 8 years, for about 5 years. Well, I'm bad at that. I can tell you. Okay, this is a state of Louisiana proclamation. It's proclaimed June 28th, Alzheimer's Awareness Day in Central Dallas. Whereas Alzheimer's disease is a series of fatal brain disease, ranking as the 7th biggest cause of death in the United States, with a new diagnosis being made every second. And whereas Alzheimer's disease currently affects more than 5 million Americans, among them there is 1,000 persons living in the Ascension Parish. And whereas fundraising activity, I will assign to remember it until 2 to 5 p.m. on Sunday, June 28th at Alabama in Dallas, in conjunction with the Center State of North Academy. And whereas all proceeds from the event will go to the benefit of Alabama Service to the Council Area Organization. Now therefore be presented by County Court and serving the Parish of State of Louisiana. Our bridges are also related by the authority that by the plan June 28, 2009 is all around awareness day and Parish based on fellowship to serve the state and school.
We have some representatives.
You all want to say something. Always. Many of you know who we are. Anyway, we are from the Bourgeois family from Sanimal, and there were 12 brothers and sisters. And of that 12, we believe that 10 have been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. We have lost 5 of those brothers and sisters now. The fundraiser happened because Larry Schechtschneider, who is Kent's brother, every year has done a donation to a charitable cause. And for several years they did, different things. And last year he said, let's do Alzheimer's. I mean, why haven't we? And he said, would you help me? And I said, yeah, sure. Well, here we are 2 years later. We have a huge silent auction on that Sunday afternoon at Holiday Inn. We have over 100 items this year. Tickets are $25. We have desserts. We have entertainment by Center Stage. That's the fundraising part of it. The part that we really, really want to stress is the awareness that people are aware of how many people. There's probably nobody in here who hasn't been touched. There are also some other things going on. The Pennington Biomedical Research Center is doing what they call a brain study. Client number 1, subject number 2. They are looking for 400 people to establish a baseline for what's normal, brain functioning for people 60 and older. So we are looking for people who are 60 and older who would be willing to participate. All you have to do is answer questions. If you, want more information about that, I can get that to anybody. So I thank y'all. We appreciate it. Didn't know this was going to happen. Thanks so much.
Okay, Mr. President, next proclamation to proclaim Please Mosquito Week. Healy, excuse me.
I led him astray on that one, that pronunciation.
Whereas yearly outbreaks of Alzheimer's have occurred across the state as well as outbreaks of singular encephalitis, triple-A mucidiform encephalitis, and have got verified with disease of going on in human beings and animals. Whereas besides the birth effects of health, numbers of diseases diminish outdoor accessible recreational areas, livestock productivity. Whereas facts of the field standing on the mosquito Act. Whereas the city control program has an effort to control program is where it means trust, destroy, and destroy our citizens.
Now therefore be it proclaimed that I come forth as president of the parish and continually and by virtue of the authority of every people to give unto proclaim June 21st to June 27th, 2009, and 2 days of sleep. Basically, we do have a great city control department. They does an excellent job. Any of you have any problems, located at the make the lake through everyone. We stop by and take a lot of schools and educate the kids. So I just want to thank you all.
David, I commend you and your department for a job well done. I see y'all out there every day, and of course you can see the results in the last couple of years of. And I did give you the Sanimal version of Pele, my good buddy Randy Flew.
That's how we say it on Stringer Bridge Road.
Okay. Okay, very good.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay, before we move on into our parish president report, I have one little item I'd like to bring forward. Mr. Cedric Grant, would you come forward to the podium, please, sir? Well, I'd like everybody to know earlier this month, Mr. Grant received a 25-year service award from the International City Management Association. You know, Cedric's never going to tell anybody that, so that's why I'm going to tell you. This award recognizes members dedicated to public service and professional management at the local level. Since 2002, Cedric has held the ICMA's designation as a certified city manager. You'll get this award in Montreal, September the 24th, the annual conference. Before coming to work for Ascension Parish, I believe everybody does know a little bit about Cedric's background. He was with the state DOTD, Deputy Secretary for the DOTD. Cedric also serves as a board member on the National Forum for Black Public Administrators and the Delgado Community College Foundation Board. Cedric, I want to congratulate you and just tell you what you really mean to us. I'm so glad that you're part of our team. I'm so glad I'm part of it with you. I just thank you for being Cedric. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, President Martinez?
Okay.
President.
I'll move on to my report.
Yes, sir.
Basically, the first thing I want to do is announce that on June 19th, 20th, and 21st, Ascension Parish All-Stars will be in St. Francisville for the state tournament. Keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And second thing, the blood drive. Alan Bro's daughter will be June 24th at the DPW auditorium from 8 to 2 o'clock. So if anybody wants to come in and donate blood, we would certainly appreciate it. And next, I have a proclamation. Mr. Mike Cohen, BSL, who is retired at the end of this month. I didn't want to put you with a few legs At the family meeting last night, I did honor Mike.
Set of bolt cutters?
Today, we proclaim June 18th, Mike Cohen Day in Ascension Parish, where Mike Cohen is trying after providing more than 30 years of service to CSF Corporation. He has worked at CSF facility in guidance in 1998 and became senior vice president in city day in 2003. And general manager of the facility in 2004. Organizations that provide employment. Now, therefore, it is proclaimed by County Martin, President, Parish with authority to represent the Bureau of Complaints. June 2009, Mike Cohen Day in Ascension Parish. With my fellow citizens who live this state, and I am Mike, congratulations.
Thanks, really appreciate. I really enjoyed and was honored to be part of this community for the last 10 years. I've learned to practice laisser les bon temps rouler. I enjoyed every evening and every day in the community. In parting with your permission, I'd just like to mention a few serious things, if I may. The industry, the chemical community, as we all know, is a cornerstone of Ascension Parish, and many of the parishes and states envy the cooperation we have here and the part that that industry has with the community. And I urge you, with all due respect, you all know the economy, and you know the next 3 years are going to be very difficult to that industry. And for our future, for the future of the parish, we should all do all that we can to make sure that those very strong companies that we have in the areas pass the storm and come stronger than they were before the storm. So please keep that in mind. They are very strong companies. We've been blessed to have companies with very strong bases, very responsible, very strong in the community, but we need to make sure that they are here 3 years from now, and for that we're going to need all the supports. Thank you again for letting me say a few words, and thank you for the recognition. Greatly appreciated. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike.
So if I may, just one more item. My replacement here, the next general manager for Geismar, and with your permission, just like to have him introduce himself and maybe say a few words. Yes, thank you.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Tom Ura. Effective the 1st of July, I'll be taking over for Mike Cohen. Mike's done an outstanding job of helping establish BASF and setting up the relationships between our great company and then certainly this great parish council. And I'm looking nothing more forward than to continue that relationship. And hopefully at the helm at the Geismar plant site is to continue to cooperate and bring us to the future for the next 10 years.
Thank you for being here tonight. Tell me, what part of Texas are you?
Currently, I'm from the Freeport, Texas.
Okay. I know last night I was talking to you, and I didn't know if I forgot what part.
No, just south of Houston.
Who was Brendan, Texas? Remember we were talking Brendan? I was thinking we'd get some bluebells going.
Oh yeah, no, that was a whole other discussion about good ice cream.
Well, we certainly welcome you to the parish, and becoming a good member of our team. And anything you need from us, please contact us.
Thank you very much. I certainly look forward to it.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Kluart.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman and Councilman, I'd also, Mike, hate to see you go, but we want to recognize one other member in the audience, and that's the person that sticks behind you on a day-to-day basis, your lovely wife, Miss Ruth. We thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Councilman, next item will be consent agenda. I'll need a motion.
Chairman.
Move by, yes, sir.
Go ahead. Move.
Motion by Councilman Ken Shakespeare. Second by Councilman Benny Johnson. Any discussion?
Chairman,
Councilman Valentine.
I'd like to make a substitute motion. We pass all on the agenda, consent agenda item except I, the resolution, to pull out and have that for discussion. Second.
Okay, we have a substitute motion by Councilman Valentine, second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Any discussion? Any objection? The original motion is we have a motion for item 7A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and J. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. We will now discuss I. Councilman Valentine.
Yes, Chairman. Question, Parish President Martinez, if you could clarify something. And I see bond counsel here, but I'm not sure if finance is here. I guess when when the pitch was made to the parish several months ago about this, we set a figure of $350,000 if we could refund that and show a savings of that. They came during the finance committee and requested that we lowered that limit to $200,000. And a motion was made that it come to the council. We didn't have a whole lot of discussion at that time about it, but I guess because of the bond market economic conditions, only realizing $200,000 and knowing that we have to pay several $1,000s in fees, I don't think it's a good time as far as refunding an issue like this at the present time. I would rather see the parish wait. I guess my question to you is we didn't have something from administration. What's your thoughts on this? You've had plenty of experience with this, so have I. And so I just think that in the past they've always set a baseline of about $300,000. If you can't save $300,000, it's not worth refunding because fees eat you up. And we know people don't do this for nothing. So that's my point. And I know the old adage, well, even if you can save 10 cents, you should do it. Well, not if you're a public body. That's my point. So I would like some kind of explanation or some comments from you on that.
Well, there was discussion on it, and basically in the past, I don't know what happened thereafter, but as of 2000, that was basically our baseline was 300,000. That's correct. And bond market being what it is today, I don't know if they're going to attain that in the near future. But the 350 baseline was there. At the last finance meeting, as you said, it was asked and passed upon to bring it to here tonight. And I agree with you in respect that you're going to save 200,000. I would like to see a higher benchmark there. But again, that's certainly going to be your decision to make. And I think Mr. Ted Jones is here tonight, who would be the bond counsel, and maybe he can shed a little light on what's going on and why they don't think that this is attainable at this time. Right. You're talking $9.5 million worth of bonds. I think to save 200,000 and issuance costs would be about $150. We just got those figures today, so right. I'm not familiar with them, but that's basically what I think I read. Right. And so I'm going to ask Mr. Jones, please come up, and maybe Mr. Grant would like to say a few words on this also.
Yeah, I'd like as much information for the council to do that.
Sure.
During my tenure on the school board, I mean, there was always any bond attorney that would come to you would say you got a certain limit, and then it's just for the fees. And that's not that I want to discourage from paying fees, but we're not in the market to just be here to refund bonds to pay fees. And so, that was my reason for questioning this situation. And that has always been a baseline. And I'd love some input. Somebody wants to tell me something different. I remember Mr. Ryan being here. Mr. Ryan made the statement from the podium on the fact that $350,000 would be a reason for him to refund the bonds.
Right.
And so that's why we didn't have any discussion. So it'd be healthy to have the discussion now. And I would also like them to tell me just how much the fees are.
Exactly. Well, I think I might have. Did we send that out to you?
The last bond we refunded, I'd like to see some fees on that, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Everybody we pay.
No, I think we got something in late this afternoon, and I'm not sure if I sent it out to the council, but it was about 4 o'clock when I got it.
All right. Okay, Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Chairman Bell, members of the council, President Martinez. Mr. Valentine, just to answer your questions, in regard to the nature of this refunding, it's what we call a current refunding as opposed to an advance refunding. Are you familiar with the difference between those two concepts? Well, a current refunding is current because as soon as the refunding happens, the old bonds can be called immediately. There's no period of time where you have to continue paying debt service on the old bonds together with the new bonds at the same time until the old ones can be called. So as a result of that, if you can immediately swap your old debt for the new, then what the parish realizes are only the savings. It's distinguished from a situation where you have an advance refunding, where you actually refund bonds before they're callable. Let's call it a year or 2 years before the call date. And you look at the cost of kind of escrowing the existing debt service on top of having to pay the new, and you look at the savings, and that's when the bond commission says, well, in that case, you've got to produce higher savings. On a current refunding, the bond commission guideline says, and you kind of referred to it earlier about the old adage, you know, if you, on a current refunding, if you can call the bonds immediately and save yourself, you know, even $1 in debt service savings, and you fail to do it, then that's an extra dollar in debt service that you don't have to, that you're paying unnecessarily. And so, because this is a current refunding, what happens is that you've reached a point on this bond issue, primarily because it's relatively short, so it doesn't go out so far, and the rates to begin with are not that high. You've reached a point where the savings you're going to attain on this refunding are as high as they're going to be. If it goes into the year following this year, the issue is going to be continued to be paid down, and there will be fewer bonds to refund, and it will be tougher and tougher to get savings out of that. As with regard to the fees, you know, what we're looking at is, in the event that we actually close before November 1st, you're looking, either way, you're looking at about $150,000 in transaction fees. And you look at that and you say, well, why would we pay $150,000 to save $200,000? And the answer actually requires a little bit of discussion, and that is that this transaction is not a transaction that you have to pay for out of parish reserves. It's a transaction that actually absorbs those costs, pays for them out of the proceeds of the refunding bond issue, nets those out, and then the parish realizes the savings. So from an accounting standpoint, aside from some minimal costs that you might have to amortize, all you realize is the savings. You know, in cases where refundings produce more savings, typically they go out further. The rates because of that are higher. And so the savings in this case, while, you know, 200 obviously is far less than 350. 200 is about as much as you can realistically expect to save. Now that comes to about $25,000 a year extra in your road construction budget. And while that may not pay for a specific road project, while $200,000 might not even pay for a specific road project, I think the argument is that you have an opportunity to keep from paying that money unnecessarily in debt service each year. And if you don't do the refunding, then you go ahead and continue to pay it unnecessarily. And that's the argument. And from my standpoint, in just providing services to the parish, you know, we have an obligation to bring these types of things to your attention. We brought the refunding to the parish's attention last year when it was still slightly in advance refunding. Didn't work so well. We knew we had another year to wait, so we waited. And now the analysis shows that your savings are as great as they're going to be, or these bonds will just mature through 2016. I know I covered a lot of ground there. I hope that I answered your question.
Ted, can you?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Can you talk about some of the steps between March and now, about what you guys have done as far as analyzing the bond market and going to the banks and
right.
exhausting
Well,
all the there?
When we started, you set a savings threshold of $350,000. At the time, given where we thought rates might trend, we thought it was realistic. I think at the time we were showing that the deal produced $280,000 at the time. And so from there, we started to discuss the bond issue with bond insurers and the credit community and the rating agencies, and got some preliminary feedback from them as to, you know, how we would have to structure the deal. As we started to watch the market, we realized that because of concerns over inflation with our federal government unfortunately printing money at warp speed right now, that rates were beginning to run away from us. And at first it was gradual, and then beginning about last Monday afternoon is when some of the big cuts, at least what we call on the shorter end, in other words, from about 2009 to about 2017, where this deal resides, were pretty drastic. And so in looking at that, we realized that the $350,000 to obtain the bond market was unrealistic. And because this deal was less than $10 million and shorter than 10 years, we also put it in front of banks to possibly privately place. And the rates that they came back with were fairly disappointing in that you know, I think the best bid we got was close to a 4% even, which would lose $290,000 rather than save anything. And so, you know, the only option we're left with realistically is that if the sales tax district is going to realize any savings from this at all, it has to happen this year, and it's probably not going to be any more than $200,000. So we have an obligation to bring that back to your attention. If it's something that you feel doesn't justify the means, don't justify the ends, well, that's your decision, but we still have an obligation to come and put it before you.
Councilman Lower, you finished?
Well, I was just going to say, I apologize for being ill at the Finance Committee meeting and not discussing this more in depth there, but you know, basically, as Ted has explained, it's yes, there are fees associated with this transaction, but we don't have to pay those up front or anything out of our reserves, as he said. And we're only the choice is we either save $200,000 or we don't do it at all. And yeah, I'm not happy that we couldn't meet the 350 either, but it's getting to the point of, as he said, if we don't do anything, we're going to miss out because we're running up on towards the end of the term of the bond. So it's not great, but it's certainly $200,000 is something, and you know, the fees that's after fees have been paid, it's $200,000, and I just think it's better than nothing and something we need to move on.
Councilman Todd Lambert.
Yeah, Mr. Jones, you're saying up to 200,000. You may be 200,000. You're not sure exactly what it would receive.
200,000 would be a floor. It would be a minimum that we would have to say. I'm not saying that you could save possibly up to 200.
But we're not sure at this point what we are going to save, correct?
Well, you can never be absolutely sure. I mean, we set $200,000 based on watching the market for 3 months. What I'm telling you is that $200,000 is an amount that if you set it at that, you will probably give yourselves the best chance to have savings. So the game is you don't want to set it too high because then you'll never do the deal and won't realize any savings. And so coming down from 350,000, I think 200,000 is a reasonable floor given where the market has headed on.
And you're saying it's 200,000 minus the $150,000 fees?
No, it's
total
200,000
savings of 200,000
net.
So you won't do anything unless you can save $200,000
Correct.
for the parish.
That's correct. That's a requirement. We have to hit it. You know, when I sit down with my desk and we go out the price and we say, okay, guys, you know, at what levels do you think you can get these bonds sold? And then they'll give me a scale and we'll run it through and figure out what it produces. And if it's $1 under 200,000, we don't go. And frankly, you know, even if it were right at 200,000, I still wouldn't go on the risk that we might have to reprice something and then pull the deal and kind of cheapen it in terms of the eyes of investors. But you know, 200,000 is a floor. We have to produce at least that, or the deal won't happen.
And you also said that with the 200,000, right now would be the best time that you don't see any improvement with as low as bad as the economy is now. You don't see any type of improvement once the economy grows and, you know, comes out of the slump it's in. You don't see any improvement where the bonds would be at a better savings down the road instead of what we almost break even right here with this.
Rates might improve next year, but by that time your savings will have been lost because the deal at that point will be so small that, you know, we'll be back here talking about $50,000 in savings. The transaction is so short; it only goes out to 2016. That, you know, it's not long enough to really go through more time. I mean, the bonds became currently callable in November of last year. It will pass that point by a year in November of this year. And once you get past that window, your ability to refund past that point really, I don't think that, you know, the savings would be worth the time at that point. So, you know, what's happening unfortunately now is we're beginning to see signs that perhaps the recession has ended. Well, that's good in a way, but not necessarily for the bond market, because at that point there's a perception that more people are getting employed. They've got their housing situation under control, whether you agree with that or not, and I don't necessarily fully agree with that yet, but that there's more money to spend. As a result, prices go up. If prices go up, the rates at which people will lend also go up. And so what we're in is a period of reacting to these concerns over inflation that have in recent weeks driven your rates up. And our desk and our economists don't see that trend really coming back under control this year. Now, the goal from our standpoint will always be to maximize savings. We're not going to shoot, we're not going to say, okay, we can get 200, let's do it. We're going to get as much as we can, but we have to get at least 200. And I think if you set it, the threshold, anywhere above 200 in this market this year, that you're going to lose the whole deal. And, for some of you, that may not, be such a bad thing. But I think it's to Councilman Moore's point, you're either going to save $200,000 or you're going to cost yourself that money unnecessarily in debt service, because again, these are bonds that you can call, take right off the table, and replace with lower rates. It's not a situation where you have to pay both rates simultaneously for any period of time.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second. I'll have some more speakers, please. Councilman Chase, President Moore.
Maybe a little more clarification on the cost of issuance. You're saying it's not coming out of the proceeds of the bond.
I did say it's coming out of the proceeds of the bonds, but not existing parish reserves. That's the distinction. You're not coming out of pocket for the expense. You're funding the costs out of new money bond proceeds and then taking the net as savings.
Okay, so you're adding the cost into the new issuance.
Right.
But it's still going to be saving $200,000 is what you're saying.
Yes.
In simple terms.
That's correct.
Okay.
Councilman Chase Snyder.
Yes, thank you, and I appreciate the explanation. I mean, it's sort of like a lot of people have been refinancing their house, and sometimes you go to the bank and you find out that you're too late in the loan to make it worthwhile, and your costs have been, and so it sometimes is a small window to do that, and I was one of them that was able to do that. What I want to say is I do appreciate the effort, and I think a lot of people don't realize with all this finances going on and the complexities of the thing, that we're fortunate to have good financial people looking after the money and finding these things, because looking at and speaking with you before, the effort that was put to find this threshold and realize the change in markets, it does happen. And so I think people in the parish appreciate being able to save $200,000 like this. And so, I'm for it and I'm ready to move forward.
Thank you.
Councilman Joseph.
Parish President, and I know the question had been asked to you earlier about Mr. Valentine, and you say you just got the numbers and look at them. It's your administration as a whole, from the finance and everyone else had looked at this here.
What time did you send those out today, that email? It's 3 o'clock, at least before I saw it on my email today. So I really did not have time to go over it closely. And I mean, I'm not a bond counsel. I'm looking at this just like you're going to look at it when I send it to you. So, it's the bottom line is, you're hearing what the gentleman's saying. What we need to do is go ahead and send out this information to all of you. I thought I had forwarded it, but maybe not. I don't know. Did anybody get it? When I did,
I didn't check my email after that time.
About 4 o'clock.
I actually have copies for everyone.
If you want to get, if you want to get a copy, but I mean, I haven't had time to study it.
I'll take part of the blame for that. It was today that I got them out. I can't remember exactly what time I sent an email to the administration, but I think it was around midday sometime. But in any event, I do have copies for everyone if they'd like to take a look. And before I hand these out, I'll tell you that these fees and costs were approved at the April 16th Bond Commission meeting in terms of them being in line with what are market rates and fees. If anybody has specific questions about them, I'm happy to answer those. You may want to just go line by line and to the extent that there's a fee in there from another professional, I'm a bit more reluctant to talk about another guy's fee than my own, but the other general costs, I can certainly explain what they are and why they're necessary.
Doesn't the bond commission actually review every bond transaction? They do three
Yes.
comparables and they determine whether or not, like, if it's into the parish.
And that's their charge. That's their statutory obligation, is to regulate professional fees. Now, of course, it turns out that they do a lot more than that these days, but that is their first and foremost, their primary charge.
Councilman Valentine.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a couple of comments and ask him one more question. But, you know, it's a matter of opinion, and Mr. Shakes and I certainly appreciate his opinion. I don't feel fortunate we got somebody who can do that. He does that for a living, and I would hope he would do it correctly. We sit here because if we knew as much as we need to know in finance, we probably wouldn't be sitting up in this council chair. We'd be doing something else. But the point of the matter is, if I understood you right, your fee is essentially going to be added on to the refinance bonds, and essentially we end up paying it over the long term, and they receive the $200,000 savings now. Is that what you mean? I mean, the parish president asked you that question, and that's what I got from your answer.
Well, the only thing I would disagree with is the overtime characterization. Everything would be paid up front out of the refunding bond proceeds. So that's the proceeds that are raised through the issuance of the new sale. And the money comes in, and cost of issuance gets paid out of that. The rest of the money gets put into what we call a redemption fund, and you pay off the old bonds immediately because they were currently callable as of November of last year. And then the savings, because you immediately inherit the new lower rates in exchange for the old higher rates, the savings is locked in because this is a fixed rate transaction. And each year your debt service from now until 2016 will be lowered by, you know, on average $25,000 to $28,000.
But technically we pay it. I mean,
technically you pay it.
The bonding commission's not paying it. The people that are buying the bonds are not paying it. Ultimately, we pay it. I mean, I'm looking at financial advisor, $46,000, bond counsel, $47,000, underwriter counsel, $33,000, and on and on. This one was $149,000. So, primarily, that's what the bottom line is. And look, hey, if the council wants to go along with that, that's fine. What I'm offended at is that we sit here several months ago and had bond counsel come to us and say, guys, this is what we can do. We're going to sit back. We're going to watch. $350,000 is the limit, and now because we can't get that, nobody gets paid, so we're going to lower that so we can get $200,000 savings. And I understand savings is savings, okay? But don't come to me and give me a figure, because we all work for a living, okay? We have to depend on you guys to do that for us. So now you come here and say, well, $200,000, okay? You should have said that last time. Not saying you, wasn't you at the time, okay? But point being, that's my beef, and I, you know, and over the years, I've been in this game a while, it's always been said by different bond attorneys. Some, I mean, Boozy's one of them, but you know, other people, I have a lot of credibility with people on this council and myself.
Fair enough.
And now my credibility is of their advice is starting to wane a little bit. Okay. So that's why I'm questioning.
Well, 2 points. This being a current refunding as short as it is, it's a much different situation than probably a number of the ones that you've been a part of. Whether you realize the difference between a current refunding or not and an advance refunding, I can sit here and explain it to you all night, but we can agree to disagree. Right. Fair enough? Right. The second point is, at the end of the day, regardless of what the fees are, this parish is either going to put $25,000 more in its construction fund every year, or it's not, and instead pay that to someone else unnecessarily. That's the choice.
Okay.
Motion. Any more discussion, Councilman? I have a motion by Councilman Chris Lower.
Second.
Oh, you got.
I had one discussion.
Okay, Councilman Dempsey Lambert.
Yeah, if Ms. Gwynn didn't have anything to add to this, I'd be in support of it also. Nothing, Bonnie? Thank you.
I have a motion by Councilman Chris Lower, second by Councilman Randy Klulock. Any discussion? Any objection? Resolution passes. Thank you, Ted.
Thank you. you.
We'll move to our general business section. Item 8, homeless prevention and rapid rehousing grant. Ms. Martha Collins, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the council, President Martinez. This is a resolution for dealing with the homeless prevention. We got this through the state with the Office of Community Development. It's actually an extension of our emergency shelter program.
Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Randy Cloyd. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion passes.
Just for, how much, Martha?
We don't know.
Okay.
We just, it's an application.
Thanks.
Next, we have the hazard mitigation grant. Ms. Martha.
Thank you, gentlemen. This was given to me on Tuesday, so therefore that's the reason why we have to come before you tonight. It's the parish has been allocated $4,637,789 for a hazard mitigation program. There are about 6 different categories. We just like a resolution allowing us to go forward with a intent.
Got a motion by Councilman Benny Johnson, second by, I didn't see who it was, by Councilman Oliver Joseph. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
Just a quick note, Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Coulon.
Martha, on this, this came in rather rapidly, and you got till June 30th.
Yes, sir.
To actually put this package together, and it's a little bit broader spectrum, so you got a little bit more to work with. And,
yes, it's not
so
just basically elevations or acquisitions.
Right.
It's added a lot of different categories, which is really good for the parish.
And we may have some existing projects that this can be thrown toward.
We're going to try and work with the department heads to, and Mr. Grant and I to see what projects we can put forth fairly quickly.
And it's a matching funds, 75-25,
Yes, sir.
with what was the term I'm looking for?
The terms are, on these type of grants, it's a 75-25. But at this time, they have not come to us and said that there would be a global match, which has been done in the past, meaning that the state would pick up the 25%.
Right.
So this is, we're just in the beginning stages, and in the past, they've come up with the 25 with extra funds. So this is where we are today.
That's what I wanted to clear up. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 9, resolution authorizing the hiring of special counsel. Ms. Lindsay Manor, please.
Council members, upon recommendation of the district attorney and administration, they're asking you to authorize the hiring of special counsel in the Kazarian Associates matter.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Dempsey Lambert, second by Councilman Dennis Cullen. Any discussion? Any objection? Resolution carries. Item 10, CAO Cedric Grant, please.
Council members, this is an authorization to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement with the state of Louisiana for the Gustav Ike funds that we've been talking about for the last few months. This will initiate the planning process to allow us to access the $19.8 million that we've been awarded for Gustav Ike recovery. It's 100% federal money, requires no match.
So moved,
So,
Mr. Chairman.
by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Randy Cloyd. Any discussion?
Make that second by Mr. Shake Snyder.
That's fine.
Second by Councilman Cloyd. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Item 10A,
Council,
Lindsay Manor, please.
Council, we ask that you authorize the extension of the lease purchase agreement with Lamar Dixon Foundation and adoption of the terms of the sale agreement. If you have any questions, my colleague Jeff Diaz is here to answer them.
Councilman, any questions with the legal counsel Diaz?
Just like a summary.
Cloyd.
Yeah, Jeff, give us a little spill. It's looking good or what, man?
It looks great.
That's good.
I want to thank the staff, Ms. Manda, Mr. Grant, and Parish President Martinez for getting in the game in the last 2 months and really bringing the issues to the forefront and coming to an agreement. What you have tonight is we need to extend the lease. Y'all exercise the option on May 21st. We have 60 days from the official date of the ordinance to close the sale. Well, the exercise was official 2 days ago. So you have 60 days from yesterday, 2 days ago, to close the sale. We've come to a complete agreement on the terms of the sale, but we need to extend the lease because we have to go to the bond commission July 16th, and this is where our bond counsel is present. He, I think y'all filed the application? Okay. The application's filed. So everything is done. The lid's on it. After tonight, we won't have to touch this file till July 16th. We have a good agreement. You're going to extend the lease till August 31st. We'll go to the bond commission. We'll get approval there. The district attorney has certified the agreement and the terms of the agreement, which was one of the requirements. And short of that, we're ready to go. Except the funds need to be made available.
Made available.
And we can't do that until...
Right. And y'all have opted for the long-term payment plan. That's why we're going to the bond commission. If we were going to pay the price up front, we wouldn't have to go there. But since you are incurring long-term debt, we go to the bond commission.
Okay. Councilman Oliver Joseph.
Yeah. I'm looking at this payment terms, interest. First year, $250,000. Second year, $500,000. Third year, $500,000. And fourth year,
$6 million.
$6 million.
Yes, sir.
And that's what you mean about the long term.
Yes, sir.
On that.
Yes, sir. The bond commission considers any funding beyond 9 months to be long term. So when we agreed to go past that, we had to. And if we're not paying up front, we're going past 9 months, we have to get bond commission approval. And y'all are all welcome to come to the bond commission on that day. It will be on the agenda.
In which, I see the parish president on. Basically, that's just giving us room to work with all those government parties to get those funds on the board, right? Correct?
Exactly. We anticipate the $4.5 million from GOSEP September coming down. That's been pretty much approved by everyone. Talked to Senator Amadei, the $2 million from the state. Pretty good shape. He's very confident, and I have confidence in him this year. But again, we still have the rooms in case. The $250,000 is sitting there with Senator Bitter. Not a problem there. The $700,000 from Mary Landrew, Senator Landrew, got confidence, but that probably won't come till next year. So that's where our little gap's going to probably be. So I just, we're not going to long term this thing. We're going to pay everything, but probably $700,000 by the end of this year. So, but just for the bond commission's sake, we want to make sure that we do what we need to do.
Correct. I just want to make sure that everyone understood that, Mr. President. Thanks.
There's one thing that I wanted to point out that a lot of people don't realize, that we are, as part of this purchase, acquiring the marquee billboard on Highway 30. The Dixons actually own that personally. We're not buying that from the foundation. We're acquiring that from the Dixons as is. So the marquee billboard, as part of the action tonight, will be ours also.
Okay. Councilman Schaefer.
Yes, and that was one of the questions I had. If we have an opportunity to purchase it, pay this off earlier. The other thing, Jeff, they had listed a number of stipulations with us at the purchase and everything. Has those things been worked out?
Those stipulations have all been worked out. I think me and the president talked today, and I said, well, we're not walking away completely happy, and they're not walking away completely happy, which means it's a good deal. Okay. Because everybody got what they wanted, just not as much as they wanted. The stipulations have all been discussed through the years. They're the same ones we had 4 years ago. We tightened some of them up a little bit. We loosened some of them up a little bit. They're nothing that we can't work with. If they were, I wouldn't be here tonight. The mission statement, of course, is the primary one. They've asked us to insert a master plan, which we've already had 3, so it's not like that could be a problem for us. Then the other ones are things we all know about, which is use of buildings, use of property. We do get to use the property commercially now. They were trying to exclude us from having that use. They've agreed that we can use it commercially as long as it's in incident to the mission statement and the master plan. I think we have a good agreement. It's the best we can do. We've all blessed it. Well, you have it, and you, of course, are the governing authority. But as far as the parish president, the sellers, and the district attorney, and myself, and Ms. Manda, and Mr. Grant, we have agreed to it.
Mr. Chairman, we need a
Councilman
motion.
Cluart, I'll need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Councilman Randy Cluart makes the motion, seconded by Councilman Dempsey Lambert. In discussion. Any objections? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all. It's been a pleasure.
Next, we have introduction of an ordinance.
Item 11 is the introduction of the ordinance for the zoning map revisions that Mr. Compton reviewed with us at the last council meeting.
Do we want to introduce each of these individually, or we have to, each of them individual? With it listed?
I don't think we do. I don't think we had individual ordinances included in there.
Okay. Have a motion by Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Chris Lower. Any discussion? Any objection? Ordinance introduced.
Item number 12, introduction of an ordinance, budget amendment number 3, amending the ordinance approving, adopting, and appropriating the 2009 operating and capital budget for the Parish of Ascension, adopted by the Ascension Parish Council on the 20th day of November 2008.
Motion. Motion by Councilman Randy Clua, second by Councilman Dennis Cullen. Any discussion? Any objection? Ordinance is introduced. 12A, please.
Introduction of an ordinance levying the millages on the 2009 tax roll on all property subject to taxation by the Council of the Parish of Ascension.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Randy Clua, second by Councilman Oliver Joseph. Any discussion? Any objection? Ordinance is introduced. We'll next move into our public hearing ordinance. Ms. Menda.
Purpose for the Parish of Ascension to the office of the Parish President to accept the donation by Kodiak Companies, LLC. Whereas Kodiak Companies, LLC wishes to donate a tract of land in the Dutchtown Garden subdivision to the Parish of Ascension. Whereas in the best interest of the public, the Parish graciously accepts this donation. Whereas the said property is described on a map survey made by SJB Group, LLC, dated July 10, 2008, entitled Spud Final Plat of Dutchtown Gardens, Phase 1, Tract A, Phase 2, Lots 1 through 47 inclusive, Tracts E, F, STP, and Phase 3, Tracts B, C, and D, formerly Lot 2A2 and Tract 2B, located in Section 15, Township 9 South, Range 2 East, Southeastern Land District, east of the Mississippi River, Ascension Parish, State of Louisiana, for Kodiak Companies, LLC. Whereas the map of the said property is attached hereto as Exhibit A, therefore be it ordained that the Parish of Ascension is authorized to accept the donation of said property by Kodiak Companies, LLC, with a legal description as follows. One certain tract or parcel of ground, together with all buildings and improvements thereon, situated in Section 15, Township 9 South, Range 2 East, in the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, and being more particularly described on a map of said property made by SJB Group, LLC, dated July 10, 2008, entitled Spud, Final Plat of Dutchtown Gardens, Phase 1, Tract A, Phase 2, Lots 1 through 47 inclusive, Tracts E, F, STP, and Phase 3, Tracts B, C, and D, formerly Lot 2A2 and Tract 2B, located in Section 15, Township 9 South, Range 2 East, Southeastern Land District, east of the Mississippi River, Ascension Parish, State of Louisiana, for Kodiak Companies, LLC. A copy of which is recorded at entry number 702243 of the official record of the clerk and recorder for Ascension Parish, State of Louisiana, and being designated on said map as Tract D, containing approximately 1.05 acres, said Tract D having such measurements and dimensions and being subject to such servitudes and building lines as shown on said map. Be it further ordained that the Parish President is hereby authorized to execute any and all documents necessary in connection with acceptance of the said donation.
Move to open the public hearing.
Move to open by Councilman Valentine, second by Councilman Todd Lambert. This time anyone wish to speak on this item, come forward and sign in, Mrs. Zahn. You'll be allotted 3 minutes.
Move to close, Chair.
Move to close by Councilman George Valentine, second by Councilman Randy Clua. I'll need a motion for the ordinance.
Move the ordinance.
Move the ordinance, motion by Councilman Valentine, second by Councilman Randy Clua. Any discussion? Any objection? Ordinance is adopted. 16, please, ma'am.
Whereas the Parish of Ascension owns the following described property that was acquired in pursuit of the Donaldsonville Health Unit building. Whereas the Ascension Parish Council, through the powers granted under the Home Rule Charter, has the authority to declare property belonging to the parish as surplus and lease said property according to law. Whereas it is the high recommendation of the Ascension Parish President that said property be declared surplus and leased according to law. Whereas this recommendation is based on several facts and considerations, namely, the property described is no longer needed for the purposes in which it was originally purchased. The Donaldsonville Health Unit was built on a different part of land purchased simultaneously with property described above. The property described above has been vacant since purchased by the parish in 1991. The property continues to deteriorate and lose value due to depreciation and lack of use. The parish of Ascension must maintain services on said property, including maintenance and insurance costs. The parish of Ascension remains liable for any injuries and or other activities that may occur on parish-owned property and all other considerations that are normal and routine with the holding and or owning of immovable property. Whereas Ascension Parish is of the opinion that this property is surplus and no longer needed for public purposes, and that it would be in the best public interest to declare said properties as surplus and lease said properties according to law. Therefore, be it ordained that the Ascension Parish Council declares that the below-listed property is declared surplus and should be leased to the highest bidder. A certain tract of land situated in sections 28 and 32, Township 11 South, Range 14 East, in the parish of Ascension on the right bank of the Mississippi River, at about 11 arpents above the mouth of Bayou Lafourche, and being more particularly described as commencing at the intersection of the western boundary of Catapult Street with the northern boundary of LA Highway 1 as the point of beginning. Thence measure north 80 degrees 13 minutes 0 seconds west along the northern boundary of LA Highway 1, a distance of 123.02 feet to a point and corner. Thence measure north 26 degrees 12 minutes 48 seconds east, a distance of 452.57 feet to a point and corner. Thence measure south 64 degrees 16 minutes 44 seconds east, a distance of 118 feet to a point and corner. Thence measure south 26 degrees 12 minutes 48 seconds west along the western boundary of Catapult Street, a distance of 426.54 feet to the point of beginning. Said tract containing 1.201 acres, all is more fully shown according to the map and plan of Surveyor Russell Mistrick, RLS, dated August 8, 1991, a copy of which is attached hereto and made part hereof by reference. Therefore, be it further ordained that all leases are to be conducted as set forth by the relevant Louisiana law.
Move to open public.
A motion by Councilman Jones to open public hearing.
Second.
Second by Councilman Valentine. Anyone wish to speak on this item, please come forward. You'll be allotted 3 minutes to sign in with Ms. Suzanne.
Move to close public.
Move to close by Councilman Oliver Joseph, second by Councilman George Valentine. I'll need a motion for the ordinance.
Motion for the order.
A motion by Councilman George Valentine, second by Councilman Kent Shake Snyder. Okay. Any discussion?
Yes, real quick.
Councilman Shake Snyder.
President Martinez, there were some concerns about this by the representatives of the hospital in Nelsonville, Prevost. Is that been addressed?
Well, there's been several discussions. I haven't been privy to all those discussions, but basically, I think they're aware of it.
I know they're aware of it.
I'm not sure that they're happy with it, but
I mean,
but it's not their decision; it's the parish's decision.
That's what I want to know. If the discussions were made and you're satisfied with the outcome and where we should move forward with this.
Well, Mr. Cedric, I think you've been more part of the discussions, and maybe Mr. Joseph can add some light to this. I don't know.
Based on this piece of property, we have meeting with the hospital several times, also with the state health department, local health unit, and we have looked at discussed the options of where this facility of the health Capital City Health Family Service, the service that they will provide, and everyone is aware of those situations. And as far as our conversation that we had, it would benefit that local area. It is a concern to the hospital, but through those conversations, the State Department, everyone had recommended that would be a good working partnership with that. But then on the other hand, situation you may have some concern from certain parties that may not fit. But when you're talking about community safety and health, and at the cost of this here, the service that they would provide for the low-income area, community in that area, and preventive health care, And I think that's where we're going as a nation, and I think this would be good for that community in that area because they just can't afford insurance. So I know it's a concern, but once again, everyone is looking out for the community, and we're not going to make everyone happy.
Basically, what this ordinance does is declare that area surplus, which means that you can enter into an agreement with another entity to release it, or you can actually put it up for sale to the highest bidder.
Yeah, we're going to put a health center there.
But that does not say that. I mean, you're still going to have to have an agreement with that health center come before this board before anything will be finalized.
Okay, and we're going to, at that point in time, that's where we're going to address the concern with the
I would think so. I think.
Yeah, since it's a public hospital, that's good.
And I think that
their concerns were addressed. Okay, thanks.
Councilman, any more discussion? Any objection? Ordinance is adopted. Next, item 19, we'll executive session, Jennifer Board and General Landry versus the Parish of Ascension, docket number 09-00839, District 9, Office of Workers' Compensation Settlement Negotiations. B, Antoine Landry versus Parish of Ascension Public Works and Resolution Services. I'll need a motion, please.
Motion by Cullen. Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Cullen, second by Councilman Randy Kluart. Roll call, please, ma'am.
Councilman Kluart.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Cullen.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Joseph.
Yes.
Councilman Joseph.
Councilman Joseph.
Yes.
Your vote, sir.
Councilman Dempsey Lambert.
Yes.
Councilman Todd Lambert.
Yes.
Councilman Lohr.
Yes.
Councilman Shake Snyder.
Yes.
And Councilman Valentine.
Yes.
Who the heck's my agenda?
You don't need it. You got it, buddy.
Photographic memory.
Motion to reconvene, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Councilman Todd Lambert to reconvene. Second by Councilman Benny Johnson. Councilman Shake Snyder, please.
Yes, I want to move on Part A. I want to move that we approve of administration and legal settling the case, a settlement with their approval of the conditions.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Shake Snyder.
Second.
Second by Councilman Dennis Cullen. Any discussion? Any objection? Resolution passes. Item B.
Part B, again, we approve that recommend settlement with administration and legal approving of the amount and the conditions.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman
Second.
Shake Snyder, second by Councilman Dennis Cullen. Any objection? Motion carries. Before we get to Councilman Todd Lambert, I'd like to remind everybody that the meeting is June 30th. Our next meeting in Donaldsonville, 7 o'clock p.m. Councilman Lambert.
Motion adjourned. Second.
Second by Councilman Oliver Joseph.